Alright, we knew this was coming from the Tusken Chieftain. Can't reveal on all that. And now this character is finally coming to the game. I think it's exactly 2 weeks later now. So Tusken Warrior. I mean, look at this thing. If you saw this in real life, this would be pretty creepy. I mean, the regular Tusken Raiders just look like doofuses, but then this one, oh man, it's all dark and mysterious and Anyhow, dark side, duh, that's what they put Tuskens as. Attacker and Tusken. Highlights: gain momentum, deal massive damage to her enemies. Take advantage of damage over time to buffs and buff Tusken allies. You know, they say this is a her, but like, what's really the point of genderizing these things? They might as well just be kind of neutral. You can't even tell that's a girl. What look at the other Tuskens and then look at this one. There's no difference. Anyhow, let's see what you got to offer. You got the Gatterfee Smack. Smack. I thought the thing was just called a Gaffy Stick. Now it's a Gatterfee. Just looks pretty basic though. Bink. Final attacks: deal physical damage to target enemy and inflict damage over time for 2 turns. Attack again and gain 3 momentum for 3 turns if Tusken Warrior has momentum. Okay, why doesn't it show that though? It says and inflict damage over time. Well, we don't see that. That's not happening. Nothing. It's just an attack. And then they should have showed her with momentum on her, so you can see her going again. This is kind of a inaccurate animation. It's not full. It's not showing the full gambit of what this move does. Anyhow, special one: Tusken Charge. Cooldown 2 unlocks tier 2. What does that mean? Unlocks tier 2. Okay. Anyways, what's it doing? Spin and a harder hit. Okay, so it's basically like the basic, just a little bit more aggressive looking. Final text: grant all Tusken allies critical damage up for 2 turns and 5 stacks of momentum for 3 turns. Then deal physical damage to target enemy. Inflict defense down for 2 turns and dispel all buffs on all enemies. Alright, I mean, this sounds like a pretty decent move. Your team gets critical damage up and 5 stacks of momentum. We still don't really know what momentum does, but it gives 5 stacks. I mean, that's got to be worth something. And it's for 3 turns. Everything's always for 2 turns, so this gives you a bonus turn. Then, when you attack them, they're taking physical damage, they're getting defense down, and you're dispelling all buffs on them. Actually, on all the enemies, not just the one that you're attacking. That's not bad. Special 2, Finishing Strikes, cooldown of 4, it has a Zeta, and it also unlocks a tier 4. What does that mean? Are they just saying like the gear tier? Maybe that's what that's saying. They just never put it before, that's why it's confusing me. Alright, Finishing Strikes. You come in, bink, 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 bink. Kind of reminds me of like Rey's move. How she has the 3 hits. 1, 2, 3. Only this guy's a little more animated, spinning around and stuff. I mean this girl, not this guy. Final attacks. Remove all stacks of momentum from Tusken Warrior. Deal physical damage to target enemy and inflict damage over time for 2 turns. You know, you're not seeing that again. Deal damage an additional time, up to 5 times. Wow, up to 5 times? Jeez. 50% less damage and can't be countered for each stack of momentum removed from Tusken Warrior. This ability has additional effects based on the number of stacks of momentum Tusken Warrior has. Okay, if she had 10 plus stacks, this ability does 50% more damage. Okay, but how does that work with 50% less damage? Deal damage an additional time up to 5 times. 50% less damage. So how does this work? Does that cancel out? Or is it 50% less and then you're getting 50% more of that 50% less, which means you're only getting a quarter less damage? Or does that only work on the basic hit? So the first hit and then the additionals are just what they are. How does that work? How's that correlating with the full move? Anyhow, 15 plus stacks. Attack an additional time, dealing massive damage to target enemy, which can't be counted or evaded. Alright, so a couple things there. It says attack an additional time. So that says deal damage an additional time up to 5 times. So does that mean you could do 6 times? Or what does that mean? And then when it says massive damage, does that mean like an annihilate? Or the Mando's move where he shoots and the disintegrate? Or even like Rex's move, Aerial Ace. Is it like those where it's basically an instant kill? Or is it just saying you're putting down very high damage? It may kill, it may not. I guess that would be more like Rex's move, because Rex's move isn't a guaranteed kill, although most times you do get that, but it's really... its power is based on how many times clone troopers have gone. So... yeah, a lot of questions on that one, what this is really saying. I'm not sure. Unique 1, Centuries of Tradition. It's a Zeta, it's also got an Omicron, and it unlocks at Tier 5. Final text, Tusken Warrior gains 30% offense and potency. Tusken Warrior's abilities deal 5% more damage for each damage over time effect on all enemies, stacking max 50%. Whenever momentum is removed during an enemy's turn, gain 10 stacks of momentum for 3 turns. Limit once per turn. Is removed during an enemy's turn? Okay, is that saying just removed from her or removed from anybody on the team? Whenever damage over time expires on an enemy, all enemies lose 3% tenacity, stacking for the rest of the battle. Oh, so it makes it so you can get those damage over times and land it a little bit better. While in Territory Wars, yep, I forgot this had an Omicron. Whenever Tusken Warrior reaches 15 stacks of momentum, she dispels all the debuffs on herself, the cooldown of finishing strikes is reset, and she gains a bonus turn. Limit once per turn. Tusken Warrior removes all stacks of momentum at the end of her bonus turn. Tusken Warrior removes all stacks of momentum at the end of her bonus turn. Okay, you put that twice. Just once was in parentheses, the other time was for real. That's a weird Omicron. Whenever she reaches 15 stacks of momentum, she dispels all the buffs on herself. The cooldown of finishing strikes is reset, and she gains a bonus turn. Okay. What even was the cooldown of finishing strikes? It's only 4. It's not even that bad. What a weird Omicron. I don't know how to feel about that. Territory Wars? That's like a dumb game mode, too. Territory Wars and that... this is a weird Omicron. And then it says limit once per turn. What does that mean? You can only basically use this Omicron once? Or I know it says per turn, so does that just mean every turn that she gets you can do this? Or... well, I mean, I guess if you could do this every turn that she gets, then maybe you could stack those momentums if you have the right strategy going, and then you're constantly just using her finishing strikes move, which is obviously her strongest move she has. So maybe that's a good Omicron. I don't know. Overall, I'd say she sounds pretty good, especially considering she's a Tusken. Every Tusken sucks except for regular Tusken Raider. But now it sounds like she's better, so that's good. Anyways, I guess this is the developer's insights part. It's kind of like weird and short now, so... key attributes. Momentum gives bigger damage. Yes, notice that. She does more damage based on the number of DOTs on a... wow, it came out weird. DOTs on opponent. Yep, notice that as well. Can dispel buffs on enemy team. Yes, notice that as well. Inspiration. Tusken Warrior comes to us straight from her appearance in Book of Boba Fett! Exclamation point. Her time as Boba Fett's mentor and training him in the use of the Gatterfee stick led us to make sure this weapon was heavily featured in every attack in her kit. Boba Fett had visions of the Wart World tree during the ceremony that brought him into the tribe. We leaned into this imagery for the ability Centuries of Tradition. Got it. Strategy tips. Pair her up with Tusken Chieftain to gain more momentum. Use finishing strikes when Tusken Warrior has a lot of stacks of momentum. Okay, those strategy tips are horrible. First off, duh. Like, I'd hope you'd put her with Tusken Chieftain. I'd hope you'd put her with only Tuskens. Why would you put her with anything else? That's stupid. And second, use finishing strikes when Tusken Warrior has a lot of stacks of momentum. Like, no. Duh. Fact. How do we obtain Tusken Warrior? What a dumb question. Obviously, it's going to be a marquee that starts in a couple of days. Usually, the kit reveal comes out on Tuesday. The marquee's on Thursday. Let's see. Marquee event starting Thursday. Duh. February 23rd at 11 a.m. Pacific. Like, what a dumb question. Is that seriously a real question? That's stupid. Anyways, you get the questionnaire. Click me! So then you can ask dumb questions and we can give you dumber answers. Duh. Anyways, community. Let's see. You got legend first. Cool. Man, nobody's got anything worthwhile to say? I need a cool rider. I need a cool rider. I'm sure this is a song, I just don't know it. I look forward to seeing how this pulls the whole Tusken team together. Probably not that great because other ones suck. Yeah, she's pretty solid, but I mean, this isn't basketball where you can be Jordan and just pull the rest of your team along with you. Anakin slaughtered Tuskens, and in the end, Tuskens synergized with Darth Vader. Guts. Lol. Damage over time. I'm trying to think, is that for real? They didn't. Well, I mean, in a way, I guess in this game, you know, like they're saying the damage over time is good. So if you did have Vader, put more damage over times. And also, there's the dark side thing. Nice kit and impressive animations. Good job. Thank you very much for adding her to the game. Very appreciated. First off, we knew we were getting her. Second off, why are you so pumped about a Tusken? Third off, impressive animations. They're pretty basic. It's not like they did anything extra special. Like, oh my god. Like you get these cool zoom-ins or anything like they do for GLs. Like, this is pretty basic. You're just a little bit too horny for CG. The kit seems really enjoyable. Only trouble is now that Tuskens are left without a tank. Also, no territory battle Omicron. Obviously, the Omicron will make Muskins more viable in territory wars, but I'd really like to see them viable in all aspects of the game. I still feel they're missing one extra item. I mean, that is true, no tank. What do you end up with? I think it's, what, two attackers and then, like, a couple supports and stuff? Territory battle Omicron. What are you worried about that for? Who cares? Poor Tuskens, stuck on the dark side when they just want to live their lives in peace. Meanwhile, those thieving Jawas soak up the light side sun. You know, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like some of these factions need to just be neutral just because they are neutral. Jawas, they're neutral. Ewoks, they're neutral. Tuskens, they're neutral. They're not light side or dark side. They don't care. The Ewoks are just a bunch of bears living on their forest moon planet, and then the Rebels and Empire happen to come along, and, you know, the Ewoks just happened to not like the Empire, so it looks like, oh, well, they're aligning with the Rebels, so they're light side. No, they're not. They're just wild animals defending their home. Same as the Tuskens, okay? So we saw what they did to Shmi, and, you know, they're supposed to be seen as savages, and then you see them attack Luke in the first movie and stuff. But, like, they're not inherently dark side. They're just, like, wild humanoid creature things that are just living on Tatooine, doing their own thing. You know, they don't have any stake in anything good or bad. They're just living. But yet they get called dark side. They get called bad. Oh, they're bad. Tuskens are bad. Oh, they're not. And then Jawas, they get to be called light side because I don't even know why. Why are the Jawas considered light side? I mean, in all fairness, we see them, you know, kidnapping 3PO and R2. How is that considered light side? We consider 3PO and R2 light side characters, so why would them being kidnapped make their kidnappers good guys? I'm not saying they should be dark side, I'm just saying that's why they're neutral. They're just there. So, I don't know. I think it's dumb that this game has their designations like that. Same as scoundrels. You know, any character that has the scoundrel tag should not have a light side or dark side tag as well. They're just neutral. Because at the end of the day, a scoundrel is just a character that's doing what's best for them. Han Solo, you know, he's not a good guy. Yeah, we see him in the shows, the movies, hanging out with the rebels and then the resistance and all that, and those are deemed the good guys. But at the end of the day, he did it for a job. When he went to help out old Ben and Luke, it was for money. He owed Jabba money. They came along, needed a ship, and they offered him enough money that he was like, okay, cool, I'll help you guys out. But again, like I said, he was doing work for Jabba, which we would consider Jabba a bad guy because, I mean, he is a crime lord, and, you know, he's basically like a mafia boss of Tatooine. So you could say Han was dark side then. I mean, Greedo's working for Han. He's considered dark side. So yeah, that's just some of the things that need to change. Anyways, hopefully Tusken Chieftain's leader ability granting Tusken allies 20% defense per stack of momentum will help keep them alive despite having no tank characters. I mean, it is good that Tusken Chieftain has a leader ability because the last one was just and his leader ability pretty much sucks. What is it? Like the Tuskens get like defense boost, and that's it. I was kind of hoping that all the Tuskers would only have 2 abilities to keep with the primitive energy Tuskens give off. But this is fine too. Overall, a very cool character. Edit for spelling. I don't know what spelling you're talking about because you still got something wrong. You said Tuskers. It's Tuskens, not Tuskers. Hey, look, jaw rule. I was trying to think of a way to do his voice, but I don't really know. He's kind of raspy and stuff. For the basics, she doesn't. Nah, it doesn't sound like him. Does she attack again every time, or only if she has momentum? It's not clear from the wording. I would have expected if she has momentum, attack again, and I'm pretty sure it's if she does have momentum. What I was confused on, nobody asked about, though. The second one with all those conditions. Maybe I'm just an idiot then, and it's more obvious than I'm seeing it as. I don't know. Wow. Anyways, there it is. Tusken Warrior. Seems like a halfway decent character, but the rest of her squad kind of sucks. I mean, is very terrible. Tusken Shaman, pretty crappy. It's an okay, like, healer, but otherwise pretty crappy. Tusken Chieftain, based on the Marquee event, Tusken Chieftain sucks. So, you're left with Tusken Warrior being pretty good, and then Tusken Raider's not bad. This isn't going to make a very good faction overall. But hey, there it is. They finally rounded this out. It only took them forever, 7 years, and 2 shows prominently featuring Tuskens. The shows being Season 2, Episode 2 of Mandalorian, and basically the whole entire series of Book of Boba Fett. But yeah, that is all I got, and that is all they got for now. So, until next time, I said see ya.